This is the invitation you've been waiting for. You're cordially invited.
Welcome to the Aplomb Women Podcast. We're talking about something we all face but rarely name: tough conversations. Whether it's with aging parents, our careers, or even ourselves, these moments can feel heavy, scary, or just damn near impossible. But here's the truth: you are not alone. Over this season, we'll share stories, expert advice, and practical steps that help you move from hesitation to action. We'll talk about real life experiences from women in the diaspora navigating the pressures of family, faith, identity, and midlife transition. Welcome to the lounge. Sisters, let's talk.
Today we just want to just throw some light, give you some things to think about. So your next yes will come from a place of I'm equipped, I know what I'm getting into, and I can do it. Why not? So welcome to the lounge. Hi, I'm Fumi.
And I'm Lucia.
Welcome to the lounge.
I said yesterday, I promise. I'm only half asleep. So, as Fumi said, we're talking about not just our past guests, but we're talking to you, our future guests, that we want on the show. And we're telling you why you should be on the show. You should be in the lounge, lounging with us.
So there's so many of us, many women that carry wisdom and experience, insight, testimonies. And when it comes time for them to talk about it, they shrink back. And for so many of us, it feels like it's a taboo. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be on video. Oh my gosh, I don't feel like I even have anything to contribute to anything. So I want to say that is the one lie. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That is the one lie we've all told ourselves. And we need to talk you out of it. That's basically what we're here for. So we're not even playing around with it.
And
But
go ahead.
and we also want to say, if you don't feel like an expert, perfect. If you don't feel like it's polished what you need to say, even better. And if you don't feel like you're sounding like everybody else sounds like, that is what we want, or that is what it should be. And if you feel like you're bragging, you're not. You're just speaking out of experience of what happened, what you know. And that is what it should be anyway. So, this is an invitation, a special invitation for you. If bragging is the word that scares you, we want to say, please brag.
And I was actually going to add, because we find that even not just testimonies and your stories and your experiences, but even your businesses, your projects. A lot of people, sometimes it's not even about their testimony. Well, there is a testimony in your business, in your project, but we find that still people will hesitate when it comes to coming on the show or coming on the podcast to talk about it. I feel like it's because it's almost a one-on-one, and it's almost the spotlight, not necessarily just the spotlight is on you, but it almost feels as if sometimes people feel we're going to like open them up, dig out everything, which we sort of kind of do. But what we're trying to say is that it's a good thing to come on. It's a good thing to use some of these avenues to promote yourself, promote your business, promote your cause. So we want to make you not feel that you can't do it, that you can't be on a podcast show like us.
And so one of the biggest myths that we want to break actually is people say, I don't have anything to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I What have I done? Like, I go to work. Yeah, what's the big deal? Or yes, this thing happened to me, but it happens to everybody, right? Or I don't want my business out there, or I don't want parts of my life out there,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally fine. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure even as host, even though we've been over 150, and we've done over 150 episodes on this platform. We've been on other platforms as guests. You don't know everything about us, because it is maturity to know what to share and what to keep private. So I feel like being on a podcast like this also trains you to be able to know what is public, what is private, because you get to answer what you want people to know. You get to choose which part of my life I want people to know about, because
Mm-hmm.
when you start
Mm-hmm.
looking at this, like, no, this part of me is something that somebody else can gain from, is me serving somebody that, one, they might not make the same mistake I made, or
Mm-hmm.
one, I've learned this, so I am excited for somebody to get the same result I got, or I am still learning this thing, and whoever out there knows the answer, y'all please come and give me the answer. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's that beautiful place of being able to self promote, or um I know we use the word authentic, so I'm trying not to use it loosely. But it's the one place for you to be yourself and still be able to serve somebody else with your story, with your experience.
Mm-hmm. It's a place where also it's a learning ground, I would also call it, because you get to practice. It's different when you are going to speak somewhere, to a
Mm-hmm.
group or to a conference, or if you're having to promote a business and now you have to go to like an exposition, or going to even at conferences. This is a place where you come and you find your footing, and now you get ideas of, oh, I could do it this way, I could do it that way, because as Fumi says, we are in the lounge, and you get to be a bit more comfortable and a bit more of yourself, to now
Mm-hmm.
start identifying things that could work, things that's in you, as she said. So yeah, I think we've had where people, after as Fumi said, after, they would be like, wow, I didn't think, I thought it wasn't that bad. It's always, that's the sentence, it wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
that is, well, that is the one thing we do here back. So, Lucia, I'll let you answer this. So we probably do like a little Q&A for ourselves, just to help people understand where we're coming from. So, you've been you've been a guest on other podcasts, right?
Hmm.
Um
Hmm.
Promoting your book, promoting just talking about things that you're passionate about. Say you're on the podcast and you are um promoting something. So, like, for Lucia, I'm going to ask her some questions just so you have some insight into what it feels like, right? um Lucia has been on multiple podcasts, either promoting a book or books, more on that. And so, Lucia, quick Q&A.
Uh-huh.
What for your first what was your first podcast that you went to, that you were actually
This
interviewed?
This is just Let's Talk podcast.
Say it louder for the people at the back.
The Sisters Let's Talk podcast lounge.
Yes, I wanted her to say it. I knew it was.
I think it
But
was.
so I think it was actually.
Actually, it
But
was. It was a conference. The other ones were conferences, so it was the first one. Yeah.
yeah, so I know you are a host, which is total. And I think we've done another episode that kind of gives you when we actually went to another podcast together and we did an episode on talking about what it meant like being a host and what it meant like being interviewed. They're
Being
two
interviewed.
totally different things, trust
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
going back to Lucia, what did it feel like? Even though you're a host, what did it feel like being interviewed by me
I think
for
it
that
goes
first
back
one?
to your original point.
Mm-hmm.
Coming, even though I know what to expect, but I also don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, as long as it's your first time, you always and the interviewer or the interviewee, no, the interviewer is Fumi. Then you know this could go anywhere. So I think that was my experience. It's like, well, I have no idea where she's gonna take this, and I think that's one of the things people also,
Yeah, one of the
because
fears. Yeah.
the fears they have. Even though we will give a brief outline, we typically will give the topic and some few questions. I think the part that says that it's a conversation, that makes people
Yeah.
fear. But typically, when you go to typical podcasts, it's a conversation, right? So we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
say, just be prepared. You're going to have a conversation. It's not always a Q&A or, rapid fire
Yeah.
questions where, or a pre, well, we try not to always make it pre
Like
typed
strict
questions.
and yeah.
Mhm.
So one thing I'll say, especially with the our format, which is something I like, is yes, we'll have a topic that yes, this is gonna
Mhm.
be what this podcast is about. So say for a stay-at-home mom that wants to talk about what it means to be at home with your kids all day, what it means to actually talk to other grown-ups as a stay-at-home mom. So just for that example, and then come to talk about that on the podcast. Yes, we'll have that as a grounding topic, but maybe in the podcast something comes up like have you ever thought about homeschooling? Have you, or is that something you
Mhm.
think about? Or and
Mhm.
it gets
Mhm.
to let you think about, oh, I've never thought about
You
that.
never thought
Right now,
about that. Yeah.
right now my answer is no, I really never thought about it. But then you leave thinking like, maybe I should think about that thing. But the thing is, you do not need a title or to have insight into like we just interviewed a doctor. That's their profession. That's what they do. But I can tell you that most of the questions we asked and the response we got was just life, was just her being able to use her
Mhm.
experience with being a doctor and be able
Mhm.
to talk to another woman like they are not in a doctor's office, but still talk doctor stuff.
Mhm.
And that is why we call it a conversation, because it's like you talking to your BFF and saying, I know you are in the corporate world, but right now I need you to talk to me like I am your friend and you're explaining corporate stuff to me. So
And I
that
think,
is, yeah, that is the goal.
and also, you walk out for the most part when you're having a conversation with anyone, an
Hmm.
intentional conversation, and you are comfortable. You feel more comfortable when it's a podcast versus when you're going on a job interview, right? Something that's very structured.
Hmm.
And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, because you are comfortable, you are able to, most times you come out with not just ideas, but then you come out feeling that, oh, I don't know if validated is the word, um or
I think it is.
reinforce, yeah, validate some
Mhm.
things that you thought about. You're like, you feel validated about it, you
Yeah.
feel more confident about it, you feel
Hmm.
that, you know, your confidence was boosted up, you know, because you're in a conversation and in your mind you're
Hmm.
thinking, oh yeah, as she said, I've never thought about this, but yeah, or oh wow, so this was actually what was going on and I was right about it.
Yeah.
um it
Sometimes the
allows
first
you.
person transformed is actually um, the person having it, having the
Hmm.
conversation. The first person transformed by the conversation is the person having
Is the
it.
person
We've,
having it.
yeah, we've had when we were doing the marriage series, right? You remember how people at the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think we have all this to say, or they felt closer to each other
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
because they
Hmm.
had a chance to express themselves in a lighter way, but they were also giving value to somebody else that is in that season in their lives.
Hmm.
We had
Hmm.
so many responses from
Hmm.
those podcasts, and some of those couples were so scared or so don't know what to expect, but at the end of it they're like, oh my gosh, I actually learned something about my
Hmm.
spouse on this podcast, so I learned
Right.
something about our experience on this podcast. So it's just a way of letting you know that um what you have gone through in life is really not just for you. um
Hmm.
I know we all think our situations are unique and different, but somebody else is going through the same thing. And if you've gone a little bit past, maybe just one step ahead, you know how much value you'll be giving to somebody who is struggling just where you came from. And if you can
Hmm.
just let them know, like, girl, dude, it's not as bad as it seems. I wish I had known what I'm giving you right now.
Hmm.
You'll be you'll be 100% more equipped to like stand up to that thing and go forward. So that's what
And
we're
I
saying.
think this, you should, I would like to challenge people as well, well that's what we're doing essentially,
Hmm.
into using this platform as your first step. A lot of
Yes.
people have ideas, a lot of people have things that they have done,
Hmm.
that's still in the box, ideas in boxes or actual products in boxes. They have entire business plans, they have stories, testimonies, all in boxes. And people, they want to share. It's not that they don't want to share, they want to help. But
Hmm.
sometimes it's a bit intimidating when you think about trying to go out into the world on these other platforms where there's so many people or people are looking at you. This is
Hmm.
one way to come. It's just a one on one. It's just
Yeah.
literally the three of us or the four of us, but usually it's just the
Hmm.
three of us.
Yeah.
And it's a recording. So it's not live. If you make a mistake, hey, that's okay. But for those people who want to make a difference, they feel that, and we always talk about our faith here, but they feel that God has put something on their heart. And if you've been sitting on it for years on end, here is an opportunity for you to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Come on,
And
book.
this reminds me, I know when I think the first episode, can you believe almost 4 years?
I
The
know.
first episode or the second one, I think I remember when we were talking about our favorite women. Now
Hmm.
I'm thinking about
Yes.
both of them. Yours was Deborah, the prophet,
Yeah. Hmm.
and mine was the woman at the well.
Yes.
Thinking about those two women right now, both of them, one created a stage for herself indirectly. The woman at the well, she basically just said, "Y'all come see the man who told me everything I've done." She
Mm-hmm.
created her own stage. She became the first evangelist woman in the Bible that says, "Come see the Messiah. Come see who we've all been waiting for. I don't care what my story is. This is what I know, and I'm telling y'all, come see him." And people came to see Jesus and say, "You know what? You've said your thing. We believe you. We're going to go see for ourselves." There you go. We're basically giving you that invitation. We've made the stage for you right here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
Deborah, she was put in that place as one of the first judges in Israel. Yes, the stage was there, but she had to step on it and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
She had to
Mm-hmm.
basically promote what has been in her heart, what she believed, what God is telling her, and do the work that is normally a man's job. And she executed. She did what she needed to do with God's help. So those two bring me back to, there's no rock for you to hide under anymore. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
The stage is set. Just step on it.
And we can comfortably say it's a no judgment zone.
Mm,
Typically, you get that, and I've watched or listened to other podcasts as well. Typically, when you enter a podcast, most of them, it's about conversation and it's a no judgment zone.
mhm.
And so feel free at any time. When we send invites,
Yeah.
don't run away.
But it's the other thing too. I want to remind our listeners. Um, so maybe just a few tips on. I still don't know what I need to say, or I still don't know how I can contribute to this podcast. So don't be afraid to reach out, even if it's not
Mm-hmm.
this podcast, right? Even if it's not Sisters
Yep.
Let's Talk, maybe there is a podcast that aligns well with your job right now, which I want to say, if you are a professional, you should be on at least one podcast. I'm telling you why is because it helps give you visibility. So
Mm-hmm.
say you're a doctor, you can write as many papers, you can write as many blogs, you can write as many um, like in your organization, yes, you're doing what you're doing, but for you to reach out to the people that you actually want to serve in the most human way, apart from seeing them when they get to the hospital or when they get to your
Mm-hmm.
place, it's also an act of service that you're giving. I know we had like a mental health specialist that came on the show
Yep.
a while
Yep.
back.
We had two
Um,
actually.
yeah, and she said, "I give 30 minutes of community service." I think she was doing it like every month. And we were in that slot for that 30 minutes of community service that she does. Yes, she gets to promote her business. Yes, she
Mm-hmm.
gets to talk about what she does in the way another human can actually understand it. Because most times we are asking those questions out of curiosity, because there's a lot to know. There's lots of things
Mm-hmm.
that we still don't know, and other people have those questions as well. So if you're a professional, it doesn't matter what field you're, finance, dietitian, um, software developer, there are young people that are also coming up that I don't even know what they do there. They just say they're going to work and they go to work and come back home. They don't know about those things that make you want to get up and go every day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In the world that we're now with AI, yes, AI can tell you what you want to hear, but they don't tell you about the biases about, unless you ask. But here we are giving you, so you even know what to go ask AI for. Because seriously, with AI is what you put in that you get out. But that
Right.
human part of it still needs to exist. So this is one way you can contribute to us, contribute to the community in saying this is what life is actually like.
True.
I don't think you have any other excuse that you can give. Do you have any other excuse, listeners,
No,
Mister, Mrs.?
not
I
at
don't
all.
think you have any
And
other
yes,
excuse.
male or female. We should put that out there. Male and female.
Yeah, yeah. So, this year on the podcast, we've been talking to that woman that is between 30, 40, 50, 60. You know, that age, that very professional age
The adulting age.
where she is just the
Adulting.
adult in age. So yeah, we've been talking to that adult that is going through different things in life, but she is really looking at how can I make the next couple years just being prepared, simple, living a legacy. She's talking about her health, about how to promote herself in a way that her 20s, it was not necessary in her 20s, but now she's looking at adulting the real way, matured adulting. It's not numbers at that point, it's matured adulting.
Matured adulting.
So you have something to contribute to that, when it comes to finance, when it comes to, we've already talked about wills, we have more to delve into that. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
somebody that knows about living trust, you know about how to make planning, estate planning, a little bit much more better than it is right now. We only basically went on the tip of the iceberg with um our lawyer friend that was on. But if you can go deeper, just send us an email. Hello at sltpodcast.com or sisters let's talk 21 at gmail.com. It will be down in the description. So you don't have any excuse. Just tell us what you want to talk
No.
about. What your topic, what makes you so happy if somebody else can just know this. And we'll let you know how it fits into that woman this year, and we'll definitely reach out.
We should remember visibility creates opportunities.
Oh, yes. You never know. Maybe after this podcast, you get to be on the actual But let me just say, after this podcast, you get to be on that stage that you've always been eyeing
Mm-hmm.
yourself to be on, because this just validated you that I can
Mm-hmm.
actually do the thing I've been dreaming about.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
Yes. So we are looking for you, that woman, not just in your professional career, but in your dream career, in your vision career, in your purpose career. That includes whether you have causes, whether you have NGOs, whether you have a baby that you want to show out into the world, as in a baby project that you haven't implemented yet, but you've been thinking about and you want to share it. So many ways, so many things that people are gifted with, talented with. God has given them that desire to do. So this is your time. We're speaking to you. You can reach us as we have described. You could send a topic as well. We are open to that too, because that's another thing. You may not want to come on. Obviously, we want you to, but even
Yeah.
if you have topics, even if you have ideas, we've had guests that have come out, born out, or topics born out of ideas that people sent us or questions. Because at the end of the day, it's a revolving door that helps someone else.
Yeah.
So you may not be here physically, but
Mm-hmm.
your input still is helping someone else. So we
Yeah,
want you all to participate, and but most importantly, we want to see your beautiful face or your handsome
definitely.
face.
Your voice is not too small. It is not ordinary. You have something worth saying. So maybe this is the invitation you've been waiting for. Here it is. You're cordially invited.